Hey yo guys, this is Jared aka the Saint of Sins on Xbox Live, bringing you some more MLB thoughts, quick predictions for Wednesday, May 2nd, 2012. Yesterday was a bit of a stumbling block as I finished the day 6 for 8 in my picks, managing to get wrong the following games: the Yankees and Orioles, the Nationals and Diamondbacks, the Rangers and Blue Jays, the Red Sox and Athletics, the Braves and Phillies, the Mets and Astros, the Rockies and Dodgers, and the Brewers and Padres. This now moves me to 184 and 168 on the season. Quickly looking into our matchups for today, it looks like we have a great day of baseball in store for us as we have some really good pitching matchups to look forward to. We'll begin in Toronto as the Rangers and Blue Jays will wrap up their 3-game set, featuring a pitching matchup of Matt Harrison and Ricky Romero. From what I've been told, I should really start expecting bigger things out of Toronto's offense now as they start making the proper adjustments to start driving in more runs. Needless to say, I'm a huge Ricky Romero fan and will be siding with him in this matchup. The Royals and Tigers will have a pitching matchup of Jonathan Sanchez versus Justin Verlander. This should almost go without saying, but Verlander's numbers against the Royals are so good that I almost can't even fathom picking against him here. So give me Detroit for this matchup. The Mets will send up Chris Schwindon, hoping to avoid the sweep in Houston as they face off against Wandy Rodriguez. Sadly, I did not expect this outcome, but give me Houston for the sweep. The Dodgers will send up Clayton Kershaw in Colorado to face off against Drew Pomeranz. I like Kershaw's chances of picking up his 3rd win on the season here. The Brewers and Padres will wrap up their series, sending up a pitching matchup of Yovani Gallardo and Jeff Suppan. Though Suppan's numbers against Milwaukee are very good, I cannot pick against Gallardo here as his numbers against the Padres scream out a big chance for Milwaukee to pick up a much needed victory. The Orioles will send up Jake Arrieta to wrap up their series in New York as they face off against the Yankees' Ivan Nova. For all of Baltimore's bravado so far into the season, I still don't buy into them being actual contenders, and I certainly like New York's offense, giving them a chance for another big victory here. The D-backs will send up Joe Saunders to wrap things up in Washington before heading up to Citi Field as they face off against Nationals' Edwin Jackson. I'll be picking Arizona simply because Washington's offense is still struggling to find any kind of rhythm. The A's will send up Brandon McCarthy to face off against the Red Sox' Daniel Bard, and here I'm going to be siding with Boston as McCarthy's numbers against them are really bad. The Phillies and Braves will clash one more time with a big pitching matchup of Roy Halladay and Tommy Hanson. This one I'm very indecisive on as both pitchers have sterling numbers against the other's offense. And though Philadelphia has opened up their bats as of late in their past 2 games, collecting 22 hits, they still seem to struggle in driving in runs. So I'll be picking Atlanta for this game. The Cubs will send up Paul Maholm to face off against the Reds' Homer Bailey. I'll simply be siding with the Cubs as Bailey's numbers against them are absolutely dreadful. The Mariners will wrap up their series in Tampa Bay, sending up Blake Beavan to face off against James Shields. And for this matchup, I simply like Beavan's ability to shut down big offenses as he's demonstrated thus far into the season. So I'll be siding with the Mariners to take Game 3 of this 4-game set. The Indians and White Sox will clash with a pitching matchup of Josh Tomlin and Philip Humber. This one seems like a safe bet to me as Tomlin's numbers against the White Sox are pretty dreadful, and so far Chicago's really opened up their bats. So give me the White Sox to aid Phil Humber in collecting his 2nd win on the season. The Pirates will wrap up in St. Louis before heading home to host the Reds for a weekend series, sending up AJ Burnett to face off against Lance Lynn. This one I flipped back and forth on many times, being very indecisive, but I think I'm going to finally settle on a Pirates victory as Pittsburgh has really opened up their offense, scoring 23 runs in their last 4 games. The Angels will task Jarrett Weaver to continue hosting the Twins' Liam Hendricks in what I suspect will be an Angels victory. And finally in San Francisco, the Marlins will send up Carlos Zambrano to face off against the surprisingly hot Barry Zito. I expect this one to be a tremendous pitching matchup as both Zito and Zambrano's lifetime numbers against their opponents are simply amazing. This one I went back and forth on quite a bit, but I'm going to be settling on San Francisco for the victory here simply because their offense is far more consistent. That's going to do it for this edition of MLB Thoughts. I will see you guys later. Peace.